Here, what's going on with y'all boys, man? CJ back with another video, and I'm back out here with my 7'2" shot creator. This build is crazy on offense. Here's the attributes right here. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the clips and explain everything about the build, but I'm telling y'all, this build is a pure bucket. Alright, so first we're gonna talk about the pros of this build and what you can expect. So obviously it's the shooting. Look, I'm hitting step backs, I'm shooting over people, I'm shooting people's faces. So the offense is absolutely incredible, from the driving layups, the floaters, step back shots, threes, post work, all that. The offense is A+. You can score in damn near every way possible. And even though I have a 65 ball control, I'm still able to run down the court, dribble. Y'all see that throughout this video. So as far as offense goes, y'all got nothing to worry about. This build does it all. It also grabs rebounds too. So that's the pros of this build, is the offense is absolutely insane. You got nothing to worry about. You're gonna get easy buckets. You can shoot deep threes, half court threes, step backs. Now of course you need takeover to hit the half court threes. You're not about to just be pulling half court with no take. You can hit step back threes without take, fade threes, all that. Now moving on to the cons. So if you looked at my attributes, you might think, all right, there's a bunch of cons here. There's a bunch of flaws to the build. Number one, you're gonna say, the rebound is low, 83. Number two, you're gonna say strength's only 82. You don't got enough strength to be a big man. There's a lot of things you can look at and say don't work, but from my personal opinion, my personal experience with this build, the only thing that I really don't like is the lack of speed and perimeter defense. Now the speed, the reason why it sucks is because you can't really get chase downs like that. You're slower to get down the court, so like especially in rec, you know, somebody grabs a rebound, you're trying to get back on defense, you're a lot slower than damn near everybody on the court. So that's one bad thing. I really don't like having this low speed. Next thing, the reason why I say perimeter defense is because if I'm guarding somebody who can shoot fades or handle the ball, I can't even contest them. I know I'm 7'2", but it's like I have to definitely give them one of two things. Either I have to give them the shot, or I got to give them the lane for an easy dunk or layup. So that's the one true flaw to this build, is just no perimeter defense. So when you're playing threes, if you're guarding somebody who's really dribbling like that, or they're just shooting fades, it's tough to guard. Now the rec can get away with it because a lot of big men aren't playing like that. But when you are guarding a big man that shoots fades, that's the toughest one to guard on this build. Anybody that's shooting fades, that's the toughest thing to guard. Because the three, all right, you know, you can play it a little bit better. You know, they're sitting there dribbling, looking for a standstill shot. You can kind of work with it. But if it's somebody who's dribbling and then shooting fades, it's tough to contest. And I know the rebounding looks low, but again, I'm 7'2", got decent vertical at, I think, 79 with silver rebounding badges. So I'm going to grab rebounds. All I got to do is box out. I play rec. I average like 10 rebounds a game on this build. So rebounding, it really isn't that bad. I grab boards. So if y'all want a Dirk, Wemby type of build, make this right here. The only thing I would change about this build, me personally, is I can drop the block down. That's about the only thing I'm willing to drop down, is the block. You could drop that down to a 78 with the 61 interior defense. It works. Bronze anchor is all you need. And look at that, I'm shooting right over people. Like, this build is really crazy. The height, it allows me to shoot over people. They can barely contest my shots. So if you're looking for a tall big, a stretch big that can knock down shots super easy, make this build right here. The shooting's so easy on this build. That Jokic step back's insane. The post is insane. You can literally score every way possible. Like I said so many times, the offense on this build, A+. No flaws to it. You're gonna score in every way possible. So if you want to build like that, 7'2", that's gonna score, get a bucket, make this build right here. Now the reason why I say I'll drop down the block is maybe just to go more on rebound, or just put it anywhere else. So if you do want to make this build, take the blueprint from what I made, I would go 7 feet. 7'2", again, you got no speed with 7'2", so I'll go like 7 feet. Maybe drop the block down to the 78. 78 still works very well. Also, this will save you a little bit of attributes, but you do not need the 92 or 90 post control unless you want golden pluggable. But you do not need that. I'll go 85. 85 works very well. As you see here, I'm still getting post spins with the 85 post control. But if you're someone who doesn't care about post spins, maybe drop that down a little bit. Or if you're just not good in the post at all, you don't really shoot post hop shots, just take the whole post control down. And look at this right here, man. I'm telling y'all, this build is really tough to guard. I'm hitting deep threes. Look, I get a snatch block right there. I'm running down the court. Look how much ground I cover with that push dribble, or the blowout dribble. It's not a push dribble, but look how much ground I cover with the blowout dribbles. Look at this. That little Jokic step back. That specific step back right there is weird, and it does catch me off guard, but if you could time it, it works. But that's another thing that's so OP about these 6'10" builds and these big man builds, is the step back. Look at that Jokic step back. It creates so much space. It's super easy to time too. Like, that's my go-to move. Give me the ball in the triple threat situation. I'm hitting a little jab step, spin, step back, easy bucket every time. Like 99% of the time, it gets me a bucket. That's one of the areas where I feel this build is so deadly too. Like, outside of everything else you could do on offense, in the triple threat situation, that's when you're so deadly. You got a handful of different things to choose from in the triple threat. You could go into the post, you get the spin like I told you about, spin out the triple threat, jab step, and just shoot right there. If you jab step and they take that step back, once they're moving backwards, you just pull right over them. There's that right there too. So there's a spin, like I said, the step backs, like when you're posting up, you can step back too. There's just so many different things. And once you get takeover, that's when you start pulling the crazy shots. That's when you're hitting deep fades. And look, I grabbed the rebound, activate my take. I'm pulling right on the half court line. Like, this build has so many scoring options that are legit #1 options to go to. Like, #1, the floaters. I'm telling y'all, the floaters on this build are so OP. You go for a floater, it's super easy to time. That's like a guaranteed bucket almost every time. Next is the post hop shot. Again, like a guaranteed bucket every time. Them step backs that I be shooting, guaranteed bucket every time. Like, they're super easy to time. Like, there's shots that you go for and it's like, I might miss it, or it's just not a great shot to take. But this build, all these things I just named are all great shots to take. They're super easy to time. These are all go-to shots. I could spend the whole game shooting step backs and it's a good shot every time. I could spend the whole game doing post hop shots. It's a good shot almost every time. And I could also spend the whole game doing floaters and still shoot like 80%. And look at this right here. Look how deep I'm hitting this post hop shot from. I'm almost at the 3-point line hitting post hop shots. And this build, of course, gets a lot of good shooting badges too. I have a 90 mid-range, 85 3, so you get a lot of good shooting badges on gold. I get things like Deadeye Gold, I'm pretty sure. I got Blinders Gold, Mini Magician Gold. I got Hall of Fame post fade, a few Hall of Fame badges as well. And look at it, like, I got 2 people jumping at me. They really just can't contest these type of things. It's all post work. Look, even with a contest, you put a hand up. I really didn't even create much space for that move, but I still score. I got people trying to double team me. And y'all remember how I mentioned the jab step earlier. Look, I hit the jab step, he takes a step back, I'm shooting a 3 right there on the spot. In this clip right here, jab step again creates so much space for me. I'm hitting a fade. Outside of even like shooting 3s, just the mid-range area alone as a post scorer, it's absolutely insane. Like, I'm able to create so much shots. Look at this clip right here. Look how much space I'm creating off the hop step. Like, I haven't played on this build in months. I just got back on this build for the first time yesterday. It took no getting used to. I was able to just jump back into this build, get buckets. So if y'all want a 7'2" shot creator build, this build is like Wemby. It's got some Dirk features too. If y'all want to build like that, make this build right here. You can hit 3s super consistently. You can get standing contact dunks, step back 3s, fade 3s. Y'all know the post work is crazy. Look right here, I'm hitting a little step back. There's so many different scoring options with this build. And after we finish up these clips here, I'm gonna show y'all the jump shot, what animations I have on my release queue. I'm just gonna give y'all some tips on how to be a better shooter with this build. So just a quick recap, what you can expect from this build is basically a Wemby type build, Wemby Dirk type of build. Look, I'm hitting step back 3s, and the only downside to this build in my opinion is the speed and perimeter defense. That's it. Alright, so now I'm going to show y'all the jump shot, but before I do that, I'm going to give y'all some tips. If y'all are struggling with shooting, especially on a big man, change your visual cue to push. That's what I use. Also, make sure y'all get your jump shot boost and your hot zones. Y'all need that. But right here, as y'all can see, all the animations right here. Now I'm going to show y'all the jump shot. So the jump shot, what you want to do, release 1, or not release 1, but the base is Jonathan Isaac. Release 1 is Marquise Chris. Release 2 is Tim Duncan. So that's what you want to use right there. Release speed is on 100, of course. It's 88% on Marquise Chris. So this is what y'all want to use right here. If y'all struggling with shooting, use this jumper right here. It's absolute butter, green, easy to time. Y'all seen in the clips, I was hitting crazy step backs, all that. So if y'all are struggling with shooting, go ahead, throw this on. Make sure y'all get your jump shot boost and your hot zones. That's all you need.